Welcome to the 5 at 5, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 4. And what a brilliant weekend of Premier League football. Arsenal win on the road again with another clean sheet yet again. And the Manchester title challengers Man City lose, and the Manchester relegation battlers Man United losing as well. Absolutely lovely to watch. Could have been even better if Tottenham didn't benefit from one of the worst officiated games you'll see all season. Very, very lucky. But in any case, Arsenal did the business, sorted out our goal difference, added 3 points. Let's get into my 5 at 5. Number 1, Rice baby. Look, I have to talk about him because every game that goes by, I'm falling more and more in love with the way he plays the game, with what he offers to the team. And there was just one moment that I wanted to talk through because I just thought, you know what, it epitomized what he does for the team that does not get noticed. With strikers, they'll bang in goals. With creative midfielders, they'll get assists, and that'll get noticed straight away. But for defensive midfielders or deep-lying midfielders like Declan Rice, what they do, it takes a lot longer for them to get the respect and for them to get noticed. But what you'll see is that if Arsenal do the business this year, everything will come back to him and his impact on this team. He's making a 100 million price tag look like nothing, look like a sale in a little supermarket, and he is absolutely bossing his position. In the 62nd minute, the way he relieved the team of his pressure is one thing I want to talk through. It was absolutely brilliant. Look at this. He receives the ball back to goal, and 5 Bournemouth players are sort of involved in this high press. Declan Rice has already done his scanning, drops a shoulder, spins his man. He knows that he's got space up in that left-hand channel, so he's running into that. Then he attracts 3 Bournemouth players coming to sort of try and stop him in his tracks from driving up the pitch. And also Declan Rice knows that he's not the quickest player in terms of raw speed, but there's no one quicker than him in terms of thought. So that's it. You see, he's already now playing the ball inside to Gabriel Jesus with the outside of his right foot. Arsenal are ready to counter. He's spun the team around so they're facing goal, and now Bournemouth are running back towards their own goal, where then Cook has to commit a foul on Jesus to nip the counter in the bud. Declan Rice, the way he takes pressure off the team with little things like that, and he does it so often in games. Honestly, he doesn't get enough recognition. What a signing he's proving to be. Number 2, and that is me giving massive, massive love to the Arsenal away fans who were so good yesterday. I don't think I heard the Bournemouth fans sing at all. Arsenal fans were just non-stop backing the boys throughout the whole 90 minutes. Not only that, the reaction they gave Kai Havertz was absolutely fantastic. And the new chant for Kai Havertz, I'm not going to try and sing it, but to the tune of Shakira's Waka Waka, you all know it. And then it goes 60 million down the drain, Kai Havertz scores again. Come on, you've got to love it. The cheek of it, he hasn't even scored and we're saying he scores again already. I mean, you've got to love the cheek of it and how much confidence the Arsenal fans are giving Kai Havertz there. Even the commentator actually said during the game that he's never ever heard an away set of fans louder at this ground than what he heard the Arsenal fans were yesterday. Massive salute to all of the fans that travelled yesterday and all the noise and support that they made. Number 3, Arsenal non-penalty goals. Now look, in the Premier League so far this season, only Luton have got a higher proportion of their goals as penalties with 40%. That's because they've only scored 5 goals and 2 of them were penalties. Arsenal, on the other hand, of our 15 goals, 5 of those are penalties. We've got no team even close to us in terms of number of penalties given to us. The next teams have 2. Arsenal have 5. I mean, it's almost unsustainable. And you think to yourself, is it because we're not creating enough chances? Is it because we're not clinical when the chances come? Maybe it's a bit of both. Are you concerned about the lack of goals we're scoring in open play? Because on top of the penalties, we've done really, really well from corners. There's no team in the league that scored more from us than corners as well. So when you take corners and penalties out of the equation, Arsenal really aren't scoring enough of it in open play. Why do you think that is? And does it come all back down to not having a clinical striker? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 4, Bukayo Saka injury. There's probably not a sentence in the English language that is worse than that. I mean, look, this kid is unbelievable. He's so, so good, so consistent for us, always involved in the goals. And He's also mustered up 87 consecutive Premier League appearances. You'll know recently he broke Paul Merson's record on that. But now, with the biggest game in the Premier League facing Arsenal, Man City at home in 7 days' time, that record is under threat. The countdown is on Bukayo Saka. You need to make sure that you get over this injury, which obviously forced him off the pitch in the 76th minute against Bournemouth, because we need you against Man City. I hope he makes it to 88 consecutive PL games and recovers from this injury. And hopefully he goes on to meet the century, to get 100 consecutive Premier League games, which would be one hell of an achievement for an outfield player. Typically, that sort of stuff is only reserved for goalkeepers. Also, another little note on Bukayo Saka. I did say in my match reaction yesterday, I wonder how many headed goals he scored for Arsenal. Well, I've got the answer in the Premier League. That's only his second goal in the Premier League with his head. Nice one, Bukayo. The Kai Havertz penalty gift. Do you rate it or do you hate it? I liked it, I'll be honest with you. I think it showed a lot of togetherness. Though, yes, I can understand it was a little bit awkward. Kai Havertz didn't exactly really want to celebrate fully. But, look, it is what it is. And if it has the desired outcome that the team are hoping for, then we'll look back and say, look, it was absolutely brilliant. But, understandably, loads of fans, especially rival fans, are saying, oh, it's charitable. It shows just how much he's struggling. The fact they have to make such a big fuss about him. It's like he's a fan that's paid to play, all this sort of stuff, you know. What do you make of it? Do you think it was like cringeworthy and embarrassing for Kai Havertz and that shouldn't be part of elite sport? Because you know how it is. If he misses that penalty and Bournemouth come back and somehow equalise and the game gets drawn 2-2, everyone would be going crazy about that. But it felt like we were comfortable in the game. I agreed with it as it was happening. I wasn't up in arms saying it should be Saka or Ødegaard, who usually take our penalties, because I did feel like, actually, you know what, sometimes you do need to take a risk in football for a longer term strategy. And that strategy is we take the risk when we're quite comfortable, 2-0 up, and we've got a penalty. Even if Kai Havertz missed, I wouldn't have expected Bournemouth to get anything from the game. And the long term hope is that, yes, it gives Kai Havertz that kickstart that he needs. And if a few months he's smashing it for us and doing really, really well in the Champions League, for example, then we'll look back at this and we'll say that's when his Arsenal career really started. That's what kicked it off. Or you see people on the other end who are just basically saying, do you know what? It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter about this whole elite sport should be like this, should be like that. Just do what the hell you like. He scored the goal. That's all that matters. Let me know what you think of that moment in the comments below. Thank you for watching the 5 at 5. Off to Lens we go in the Champions League, our third away game in a row. And hopefully we can make it 3 wins out of 3 in 3 separate competitions. And then the big one, Man City. Anyway, I'll see you midweek for the Champions League edition.